Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach wa Malak Yabashai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushai. The hardy mighty, shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing His truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Akwat out there, the sincere sisters out there that are zealous, diligent, and on fire, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremother. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Yvette McKellar, Yazian David, Yehuda Israel, Don Israel Tamid, Shalom Williams, Salaka HBK Int, Yashab Rael, Verdon Brody, Batya Israel, Azagat Saw, Shalom King, Carmel, the Ghost in Israel, Benjamin Youngwolf, Joshua Benjamin, Shalom, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Did World War III begin? Right? Did World War III begin? I repeat, did World War III just begin? Right? For those that are keeping watch, for those that are measuring the times diligently, for those who haven't left their post, those who keep their eyes paying attention to the Most High's judgments and prophecies on the earth, you might think that World War III just began. For brothers that may not know what's actually going on, India just dropped missiles on Pakistan, right? They just, now it wasn't nuclear bombs, but they dropped missiles on Pakistan. This is Elam on Elam war, right? Elam on Elam war that is beginning to kick off. Now, to what extent is this going to turn into? Hey, we're going to watch, man. We're going to watch. These are exciting times, man. We're excited, man. If you had a so-called bad day at work, man, if you stubbed your toe, if you left your keys at home, you can't find your wallet, if your woman got on you, your children are unruly and they don't, respect you, you got a rain cloud over your head. This is something to be excited about, man. This is something to be excited about, that these nations have been stirred up by the Most High to bomb each other, man, in these last days. So you got Russia and you got Ukraine going on. That's on one front. You got Pakistan now and India, they on another front. You got Palestine, you got Israel on another front. You're about to have China and Taiwan on another front. You're going to have these kings of the East and Syria, Lebanon, Jordan with Hezbollah and the Houthis on another front. These are different battles and different small wars that are going on, man, right through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right? Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles, man. Right? Let's go to Mark. Right? We have to go to Mark, the 13th chapter. First and foremost, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I want Mark, Salakia, chapter 13. And I want to read verse number 7 because Yahushua, he prophesied of these things, man. Right? The Son of Man, the King of Kings, prophesied of these things from the days that were before us, man, that you would see these wars, man. Right? Mark 13 and 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Why won't the end be yet? Just because Pakistan was bombed by India, because there are still prophecies that have to go down. You still got Jacob's trouble. You still have these wars that have to escalate to World War III, right? You still have many things that have to unfold, the economic collapse, famines, sedition, uproars of the people that have to escalate internally in America, martial law, FEMA camps. So the end is not yet just because they dropped the missile. Don't get me wrong, that's still major prophecy, right? And that's something, I'm getting excited, that's something that we have been expecting, man. We want these nations to bomb each other, man. We want wars on the earth. We're not going to try to get a petition and go and get signatures from the citizens of the earth to get them to try to stop the war. We're not going to call the hotline for the president and say, Mr. President, can you intervene and stop the war? We're not going to travel overseas, man, and wave a white flag in Pakistan and India, man. We're not going to do a canned food drive. We're not going to say hashtag pray for Pakistan, pray for India. We want war, man. We're praying for war. Because why are we doing that? For those that don't know, because as these nations have oppressed, raped, robbed, and murdered and destroyed us, even you Elamites, you East Indians, as you have raped, robbed, and murdered the children of Israel, the Most High is turning the judgment upon your own head, and now he's using you to destroy one another. Right? So you're going to hear these wars and rumors of wars, man. Verse number 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there should be earthquakes in diverse places, and there should be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. And you're going to have people that they're completely oblivious, man. Even to this very second. What is it? 6:13 on the East Coast, man. What they call Eastern Standard Time. People are still oblivious. They don't even know what's happening, man. They don't know what's going on. These are the days of Noah, man. These are the days when people are eating and drinking and making merry, man. Let me get that in the book of Matthew, right? The 24th chapter. And you had battles and wars during the time of Noah. Don't you know Tubal-Cain was making weapons, man? What was he making weapons for? He was giving weapons to the citizens of the earth, man, that they can fight and murder and slay one another. So you had battles going on during the time of Noah. Battles didn't begin when America dropped the bomb on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's not the first battle on the earth. You had battles during the days of Noah, man. You know, this is Matthew, and I'm going to get that. And we got a lot we want to get into, right? We got a lot we want to get into through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua. We want to get into these sticky marriage situations. We want to get into World War III, right? We want to get into a lot through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua, right? Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Meaning nobody knows the exact date that Yahweh Shah is going to return. If anybody gives you an exact date, they're a liar. Follow them not. Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right? So Noah literally entered into the ark when the rain began to fall upon the earth, and it didn't rain. It didn't rain prior until the time of the flood. Remember, when you read the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter, 3 on down, you read about a mist that went up out of the earth, and it watered the earth. So when Noah was out there prophesying and speaking about the end of all flesh and that it's going to flood, they didn't believe it. So they began to eat and drink and went about the course of their life as if the Most High wasn't going to destroy them. And you see that going on now. People are buying, they're working overtime, they're selling, they're trying to buy a house 10 years from now, 20 years from now. They're thinking about their great-great-grandkids and the college fund, and they're crossing off things off their bucket list that they want to do before they retire. See, these are the days of complacency, negligence, and just willful sin. But when Noah entered into that ark, that was it. And the ark that's coming now is not an actual boat, it's the chariot. Right? That's the new ark that we're going to enter into. Right? And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And I wanted to touch on the battles. You had battles and weapons being produced in the days of Noah. Right? Let's go to Genesis, the 6th chapter real quick. Right? So the days of Noah is not just they were eating and drinking. You also had battles going on, right? You had freakism going on. You had sodomy going on. You had murder going on, you know? This is Genesis chapter 6 and verse number 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And that's what's going on now. See, in the days of Noah, people were thinking the exact same things that they're thinking now. How to commit adultery, how to commit fornication, how can they get drunk tonight, right? How can they steal this man's wife? How can they profane the name of the Most High? How can they rob this man of his goods? These are the thoughts that people are thinking of now. People are thinking of looting, robbing, or his car not parked outside. I know he's going to be home. Let's steal his flat screen, steal his riches, murder his children, right? You have these same spirits going back on the earth. Verse number 11. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. And what is the root of violence? Wars, battles, murders, bloodshed. That's how you get violence on the earth. Like the Lord said in Hosea, blood toucheth blood in the 4th chapter, right? And this is the earth now. The earth now is full of violence and is corrupt. The water has been corrupted with all type of plastic and oil and damn pollution. The air has been polluted. The birds are falling out the sky by the thousands, by the millions, man. Chemtrails and alleged holes in the ozone layer, coughing up damn blood. You can't go outside without your eye itching, and you can't breathe. The food is corrupt. You have meat that's made by 3D printers, artificial meat, artificial fruit, fake seeds. Everything's corrupt. Man is corrupt. Man are transformers, sodomites, transvestites, respected child molesters. And the earth was filled with violence, right? The earth was filled with violence. And that's what you see going on right now through the spirit, right? Behavior involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something, man. Right? And you got that going on now. You got murders and you got bombs being dropped. India has bombed Pakistan, right? And we're going to show that. But first, I wanted to get this with the days of Noah as well, and Genesis, the 4th chapter, right? Just touching on the sons of Cain. This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse number 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. So Tubal-Cain, he was a weapon maker. Not only did he make weapons, he instructed men on how to make swords, how to make daggers, how to make shields, how to make arrows. And I'm led to believe now, it doesn't say this, right? But you know how this devil get down. Esau, what's his biggest moneymaker? War. You know, so when you make weapons, people sell weapons. They buy missiles, they buy jet fuel, they buy bullets, they buy magazines of ammunition. So I'm led to believe that Tubal-Cain was making money off of the weapons that he was selling to people, man. He was an artificer. The modern day Tubal-Cain in the days of Noah are your modern day scientists, your modern day engineers, like Oppenheimer, who said, I am now become the destroyer of worlds during the Manhattan Project. The modern day Tubal-Cain are your physicists, right? Let's pull up who makes nuclear bombs. The companies that make the most producing, you got companies that do this, man. The most from producing nuclear weapons and their delivery systems are Boeing, Honeywell International, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman. You see that? So they make money off of this, man. And these guys that work in Boeing, they have the spirit of Tubal-Cain. These guys that make weapons and Northrop Grumman, they have the spirit of Tubal-Cain, right? And they make all types of weapons to destroy one another, right? They're artificers. And I'm going to get the definition of an artificer. What is an artificer? Right? An artificer is a skilled craftsman or inventor. So when it says Tubal Cain was an artificer, he invented weapons. He invented swords, shields, daggers, bucklers, battle axes. And they invent weapons, man. At the ball with the chain on it, flashbangs, bayonets, heat-seeking missiles. See, all this devil does is invent weapons on how to kill one another. That's all he does, man. Silencers. What kind of devil invents a silencer? That's how you know that he's a demon. Because in the ancient world, you went to war and you knew your enemy was coming at you with war. But when you create a silencer, camouflage, you're into stealth, murder, and deceit. So artificers are inventors, a skilled mechanic in the armed forces. It has a military definition, a skilled mechanic in the armed forces, right? So going back to this, in the days of Noah, you had men that were creating weapons and using these weapons to cause violence on the earth, right? And Lamech did that, man. Lamech slew a man. Now, does it say how Lamech slew a man? It doesn't say, man. Right? But I'm led to believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, it was through a weapon, right? Verse 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain the man to my wounding, and the young man to my hurt. And these are also the days of Lamech. Now, Lamech in the Hebrew, it means powerful or strong when you look it up. And these are the days of strong nations that slay men and murder men, but they don't take accountability for it. They do it in deceit, right? Like America. America has the spirit of Lamech. What Lamech did was he murdered this man, but he does the same thing that these Edomites do when they kill you. They get on stage, on the court, on the bench, and they start crying, right? They plead insanity, right? They say, this is a result of my upbringing. They fake cry. They don't take accountability. This guy murdered this guy, but said, here's how it made me feel. This is to my hurt. They slain the man. You just murdered a guy. And he's putting that spirit on his wives, man, so they could buy into his murder and his deceit. And that's what's going on in the earth. America, these nations, they bomb countries, man. They want you to get down with what they're doing. They want you to buy into their propaganda and to their agenda. They want you to feel sorry for them on 9/11. They want you to feel sorry for them in Vietnam. Amalek wants you to feel sorry for them, what happened to them in World War II. Here it is. They started the war. They did the murder, but now they want you through propaganda and witchcraft to feel sorry and to have an emotional sentiment about something that they started. These are the days of Lamech, the days of murder and deceit, the days of genocide, and the days of justifying your actions. Right? America has the spirit of Lamech on the earth. If Cain, this Genesis 4:24, if Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And nobody told Lamech that. Who the hell is Lamech to say this? The Most High told Cain, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. The Lord didn't tell Lamech this, but this is Lamech having a God-like complex. I am God. If you try to touch me, the Most High could get up with you. And that's how this so-called white man thinks, man. When he moves in the spirit of white Jesus, he thinks he's untouchable. He comes off as if he's God, man. Through his Christianity, democracy, white supremacy. And a lot of these nations, man, they fear the so-called white man as if he's sent by God. And that's how Lamech used his authority. See, the so-called white man coming in the name of Christianity and white Jesus is nothing new. Lamech been doing that. coming in this spirit as if the Most High was working with him and he was justified in all his murders. So Lamech is one of the most evil men to ever walk in the land of the living. You know, and his brothers, Tubal, Cain, and all these men invented weapons, and these men were murderers, man. And that's why you have these weapons being made on the earth. You have these weapons being made on the earth. Let's go to the book of Second Chronicles, right? Let's go to Second Chronicles, chapter 15 and 5, right? Second Chronicles, chapter 15 and verse number 5. And in those times, there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And there's no peace to the people, man. Ask these people in Palestine, Syria, Ukraine, Europe, Russia. You know, even if you think you have physical peace, people in the back of their minds, they still fear war. And they take polls and surveys to these people in Europe. Do you feel protected, right? Do you think war is going to happen? You know, are you prepared for an evacuation? These people, they answer very candidly, man, and say, no, I believe war is going to happen. I believe that, you know, missiles are going to drop. They ask people like this all the time. These people don't have any peace, man. They're being told by their governors and their world leaders to prepare a plan to survive 72 hours. How can you have peace when in the back of your mind, you have to be ready to survive life or death for 72 hours? They're being told how to find the nearest nuclear fallout shelter in the event of a major catastrophe, what to do if an EMP attack happens. These are conversations that government had with their citizens in the 1930s, in the 1920s. But now in these days, there's no peace mentally. There's no peace physically. The people that go out and travel, do commerce and trade, or people that come in. There are great vexations upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, for the Most High did vex them with all adversity, and give power and glory to Yahweh. Bashmi Awashad. Call Allah Yahweh Bashmi Awashad. Don't give credit to man for these wars. The Most High is doing this. He's vexing them with all adversity, financial adversity, domestic adversity, food adversity through global food shortages and famines, through pestilence, disease, pandemics, bombs dropping. The Most High is vexing them. He put the spirit in India, to hit the button to drop the missiles on Pakistan. If you don't know about it, here's what happened, right? 32 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, right? We're getting this 3 minutes ago. India says it has launched strikes on Pakistan and Pakistan administered Kashmir. And, you know, we went into this on, I don't know if this was the Sabbath service or a few days ago, about maybe it was the last Monday Night Fire. We touched on wars and rumors of wars. And now you got the missiles being launched. Now you got the missiles being launched. So you can't say that you didn't know that this was coming. The Most High wrote it down for you, man. We're telling you that war is coming. We're telling you things aren't going to get better. That these missiles aren't for display. They're not put into museums where you can go and take pictures. These missiles are created by Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai, to destroy the land of the living. And they're not hiding. They're not throwing stones and hiding. See, India, a lot of these Eastern nations, they're not like the so-called white man. See, the so-called white man, he'll drop a missile and he'll blame it on a terrorist group that he funded and created. Oh, ISIS did this. Al-Qaeda did this. The Taliban did this. The Houthis did this. These people did this. When they're the ones that funded them, sent their military men to train them to have an overthrow of that government. India's not like that, man. They ain't hiding. They said, we did it. Yeah, we did it, man. We launched missiles. We said we was going to do it, and we did it, man. So these nations they're getting bold, man. They're getting bold, and they're coming out front, and they're being genuine. They're being sincere. They're being sincere, and they say, "Yeah, we launched missiles. So what, man? We said we was going to do it." And the Most High's putting that ancient warlike nation back on the earth. Remember, they go back to the ancient Elamites, man. Right? Let's put up the ancient Elamites. The Elamites were an ancient kingdom, man. And they go back to one of the sons of Shem, right? And they were a battle nation, man. A warlike nation. The ancient Elamites. They had an entire empire, you know? So you look at your Pakistanians, your East Indians, your people of Sri Lanka, your people of Indonesia. All of those are your Elamites, you know, predominantly. Those are your Elamites. Now, you might have Jake scattered amongst them, or Moabites, or, some nations scattered amongst them, but predominantly, those people that dwell in India are Elamites, right? Now, let's go back to this. India has launched strikes on Pakistan, and Pakistan administered Kashmir. And people are scared, man. People are really asking, has World War III started? I never thought that this is what they're thinking. I never thought that I would see the day when you would have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine, wars going on with Palestine. America just bombed the whole international airport. You got that going on, it's like in the Middle East. And now you got Pakistan and India beefing, right? 3 locations have been attacked. Pakistan's military says 3 people, including a child, have been killed. See that? Relations between India and Pakistan, both nuclear-armed states, have declined sharply following a deadly militant attack on tourists in Kashmir last month. Both sides will know what the stakes are, says our international editor, Jeremy Bowen. And a major diplomatic push to stop it escalating is needed. And they're going to try to stop this. Look, we shouldn't do this. Think about what you may do. Think about all of the other countries that you're going to put into this global war. China, no doubt, if this thing continues to escalate, now they could kind of diet back down and, hey, look, India, they're going to let India get hit by Pakistan, and Pakistan might drop a missile. And they say, look, both of y'all got y'all licked back. Y'all calm down and get back to worshiping God knows what, right? They might say that other nations might intervene and say, look, y'all, Pakistan, you get your lick back. Because they'll do that, man. See, a lot of these nations, they're influenced by other nations because they all have something at stake. So they'll say, look, y'all took this too far. You drop your missile on that little city over there, and after that, it's over with. We don't want no more. Now, that's if Pakistan listens. They're going to tell Pakistan that. They're going to tell Pakistan, look, don't escalate this, right? They're going to tell them, don't drop the nuke. I don't know who they're going to send to Pakistan, but they're not going to send regular old guys. They're not going to send your mayor, your local mayor. They're not going to send your local congressman. They're going to send top guys, man, to Pakistan. They're probably on the phone with them as we speak. I would like to hear that conversation and press speaker and play it on the live, man. I'm led to believe that conversation goes something along the lines of, look, we feel sorry for your loss. We know that your child died and 3 men died, but slow down. Take into account what can happen if you escalate this further. Don't drop any nuclear missiles. If you do, here's what's going to happen. And Pakistan, they're going to be mad. Hey, these Elamites are mad, man. They're mad. And they don't want to hear that, man. And they're going to be mad. So these guys are going to have to calm them down, man. Now, if they calm down, they calm down. Hey, but if they don't, hey, they don't. And they don't have to listen, man. Remember, Pakistan, let me pull this up. What did they say? I had this too. Here's what Pakistan said. Now this April 30th. Pakistani official Fasai Kundai to Al Jazeera TV. Here's what he said. Now this is before they dropped the missile. And India knew this. India knew what he said. This was April 30th. They dropped the missile. What is it? May 6th. So about a week ago. India knew what this guy said. And they said, man, the hell with this man got to say. We're going to drop our missile. Here's what he said. He said, our nuclear bombs, this is what Pakistan said a week ago. Our nuclear bombs are not meant to be displayed in museums. We will use them. If attacked by India, all is fair in love and war. You see that? And hey, they're not messing around. India heard that. If we get attacked or if we attack them, they told us that they will use nuclear bombs. India said, man, let's see they bluff, right? See if they bluff. Right? And that's a bold, this poker on the table, man. People that play poker and they put all their chips on the table. I'm all in. India is all in. After hearing a statement like this, that's like you looking at a guy face to face and y'all arguing. He said, if you touch me, and you know he got a gun. So he got a 9 on him. You know, you see it on him. He said, if you touch me, I'm going to shoot you. And you see it. And he's reaching. You know what you do? You touch him. Hey, once you touch him, guess what? You have to deal with whatever comes after that. Now, this guy, he might be thinking about, do I really want to shoot this guy? Am I bluffing? You know, if I shoot this guy, I could go to jail. You know, I got a wife, I got children. You know, I might push him back. I might see him later. I might threaten him. I might, give him some talk. And this guy, he got to make a decision. Now, everybody's watching, man. The world is watching. Now, India could look like some punks. I'll use that word, some punks right now. I mean, Pakistan. Now, if Pakistan don't do nothing, it shows who they are. And they're cowards. You don't make a statement like this, get attacked by a missile, and then put your tail between your legs. Pakistan, you better respond. If I had this guy's number, I'll call this guy, man. I'll send this guy a text, man. I'll FaceTime this guy. And I'll tell this guy, man, don't let them, I will instigate. I will instigate. Well, don't do that. The Lord said, hey, look, man. I'll talk to this guy. Don't let them do that. You going to let them drop that missile on you? Did you just tell them that you'll use a nuke? So there's a spirit on the earth, man. Let me get this in second Esdras. I will instigate, man. I want to see them retaliate. And I want to see them retaliate with a nuke. I don't want to hear all that talk, man. You know, like Iran and Israel. Oh, we're going to drop a nuke. We vow vengeance. We don't want to hear that, man. Right? We don't want to hear that. We want to hear the missile. This second Esdras chapter, actually, let me get Sarak 36. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 36. So Pakistan, man, now you're on the clock. Right? You're on the clock. The ball is in your court now. What you going to do? Right? They just dunked on you. They broke your ankles. Your woman was watching. Your children are watching. Are you going to walk off the court or are you going to do what you got to do? You're going to have to do what you got to do. This second, it's like your second spirit. I'm going to go to second Esdras. But this Ecclesiastes chapter 36. And I'm going to start at verse number 1. Now, this is a prayer against all of the enemies of Israel. Not this whole chapter, but you read verse 1 to 17. This is a prayer. And it's really a prayer for the destruction of everybody that's not the elect of Israel. Right? Now, this Sarak 36 and 1. Have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations and let them see thy power. So the strange nations are nations that have not made a covenant with the Most High God. right? They are strangers according to the promises, according to the covenants, the glory of God, the service of the Most High, the circumcision, all these things. And in Sarak's wisdom, he's praying that the Most High shows his power to them for their detriment. Verse number 4, as thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God. Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. And we're praying that the Most High show new signs. Eclipses, blood moons, missiles, earthquakes, rivers turning into blood red, man. Fearful sights in the constellations. This is what we're praying for. We're not praying for peace on earth. We want vengeance, man. We want the name of Yahweh Bashmel Shai to be glorified, man. The Lord said, I have both glorified it and I will glorify it again. We want it to be glorified again. We want the Most High to receive that honor and that praise that he had when he destroyed the Egyptians, man, and killed all the firstborn. And everybody knew about the Most High. So we want the Most High name to be put back on a proper pedestal it belongs, man. That man may not give glory to the universe. That man may not give praise unto karma. That man may not exalt the damn Mother Nature, Allah, white Jesus, and all these strange false gods, man. Let the Most High name be magnified through his wonders and through his judgments. Raise up indignation and pour out wrath, take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. And you want this time to be short. You want to pray to get out of here. That the Most High hasten the sealing of the elect. That the Most High hasten these prophecies. Like the souls of the men that John saw under the altar, those men was in the third heaven. Those men said, O Lord, how long, O holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood of them on the earth, paraphrasing. So they was like, how long? When are you going to destroy these heathen? They was in the third heaven saying that. Even Ezra, when shall be the parting asunder of times? When shall be the end of the end and the beginning of it that followeth, paraphrasing. The apostles asked, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Yahweh Shah came into Jerusalem and he said, Hosanna, Hosanna, save now. So you want the Lord to save now and make this time short. Verse number 9, which means what? You should want Pakistan to retaliate and not retaliate with gunfire. You should want Pakistan to back up all of the talk that they was talking about. If you're going to say something like this, let me pull this back up. Where is this at? Let me pull this back up. If you're going to say something like this, man, I had this pulled up. Where is this at? Let me pull this up again. You said this a week ago. Don't start bluffing now. Our nuclear bombs are not meant to be displayed in museums. We will use them. If attacked by India, all is fair in love and war. So you said that. So now you got to live by it. For by your words, you're going to be justified, man. Drop that bomb. Now, India and Pakistan, I'm going to tell you something for brothers that may not know. India and Pakistan are not, small little hills. When I say little hills, they're not like South Korea and New Zealand. They're not like, Madagascar and damn Ghana. These are nuclear armed nations. And they're at the top of the list. They're like both of them are like top 10. I got the list pulled up. I believe they're both top 10. So when they talk, they got real nuclear weapons, man. Let me pull this up. Where is this at? Nuclear. If not, I'll pull it up again. Okay, here it is. This is from ICANW.org, nuclear arsenals. What countries have nuclear weapons? So there are 12,512 nuclear warheads in the world. Number one is Russia with 5,889. Now this is what they this is what they say. It could be more, it could be less, but this is what we know. The United States, Babylon the Great, they have 5,224. China, they're number three. They have 410. France is number four with 290. The UK, 225. Pakistan, 170. India, 164. Data Israel, 90. And North Korea, 30. Now look at this note right here, right? This statement. One nuclear weapon detonated over New York City would cause 583,160 estimated fatalities. So really, that's a little over 500,000. So look, if Pakistan retaliate, they're going to kill a lot of people. And if I'm not mistaken, when you look at world population and population density, India, if they're not, number one, they're more than likely number two with the most people. Let's pull that up. What country? Let's see. Largest population in the world. In 2022, India overtook China as the world's most populous country, and now has almost 1.46 billion people. China now has the second largest population in the world, still with just over 1.4 billion inhabitants. However, its population went into decline in 2023, and I'll praise the Most High for that, man. Right? So India, man, if they drop a bomb in India, it's going to drastically reduce the world's population, right? It's going to drastically reduce the world's population. And look how they compare to the other countries. Look at this, right? Almost 3 to 4 times the amount of people in America. Right? And I didn't even know America was up there like that. They're number 3. They're number 3. But India, they up there, and guess who else is up there? Pakistan. So these are big time players. These are big players in the world stage. This isn't like Armenia and Syria. These are global world powers with weapons that can wipe out millions of people. So this is a big deal. If Pakistan responds by dropping a nuclear warhead, like they said that they would, then no doubt you're going to have global war, right? No doubt you're going to have global war. And everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows that, except the Negro in America smoking a blunt, shooting dice, trying to figure out where his head is right now, man. But everybody else knows war is kicking off, man. It's prophecy. It's prophetic, right? Let's get this through the spirit. I am going to go back to 2nd Ezra, to 16th chapter. So this is a big deal. And again, like we're saying, man, we want war to happen. I want them to retaliate right now. Retaliate, man. Drop the nuke. You said you were going to do it. Don't be a double-minded man. Now, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 5. And I'm going to say this too, man. If you're seeing that these missiles are being dropped and you're getting mad, I just started my job. Why does the Lord have to have war kick off? I'm just starting to get my money. I just got married. I just had my child. I just got this promotion. I wanted to enjoy it a little bit. If that's in your spirit, then that's a damn shame. And you're not ready for the kingdom. You want this world to continue. If this bothers you, talking about the end of the world, destruction and wars and World War III and the judgments and the magnification of Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, that's a damn shame. You should be excited. You should be happy. Like I said, man, if you was having a bad day earlier, hey, that might go out the window now, because now you're seeing the judgments of the Most High. right? Being expedited on the earth. Second Ezra, chapter 16 and 5. Plagues are sent among you, or sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Right? Just like the Most High said regarding marriage. What the Most High joined together, let not man put asunder. Man can't put asunder a marriage through his emotions, his opinions. Neither can man stop the judgments of the Most High. If the Most High starts sending missiles and wars on the earth, there's no politician, great orator, or peacemaker that can shut it down. Verse number 6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn. You can't drive away a hungry lion. If you think you could drive away a hungry lion, go do it. Right? Go take a trip somewhere to Africa, the land of Ham, and go tell a hungry lion when he's hunting down that gazelle, tell him chill out, calm down. You don't have to do this. Think about his family. Go tell him and see what happens. You're gonna get eaten, man. When he on the prowl, he on the prowl. When that fire start burning, it's over with, man. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of an archer. Yeah, you don't have telekinesis, man. You don't have superpowers. You can stop an arrow in midair. Once that arrow's in the air, it's moving fast. It's going to hit somebody. Likewise, what? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So, rather Pakistan responds today, whether they respond tomorrow, or rather another nation responds, or rather they kind of calm things down, but then it picks back up. You're not going to stop these missiles from being launched in the earth. The Lord said you're going to have blood, fire, and pillars of smoke. These are some of the signs of the end of the world, right? These are some of the signs of the end of the world. Let me get that in Joel chapter 2, right? Joel chapter 2, right? This is the book of Joel chapter 2 and verse number 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. And you just had a blood moon not too long ago, man. I believe this was on the Sabbath. The brother, a brother sent that in the group chat, man. You know, and he sent the picture of the blood moon. And lo and behold, a few days later, not even a week later, you got wars kicking off on the earth. So you got to pay attention to these signs, man. Stop ignoring the blood moon. Stop thinking that it's a thing for naught. Stop ignoring the testimonies and the judgments and what the Most High is showing you on earth. It's your responsibility to watch. Everybody's a watchman. You don't have to be part of WFI to be a watchman. If you're in this knowledge, you believe in Yahweh, you believe in His Son Yahweh Shai, then we have to repent, come back to the Most High through faith in Yahweh Shai, and keep the law, statutes, and the commandments. Then you're a watchman, man. And you're responsible for holding your post and being circumspect about what the Most High is doing on the earth. Right? Let me get that in Ephesians chapter 5. So you're going to have blood. You're going to have wars. You're going to have pillars of smoke and mushroom clouds and residue of bombs being dropped and eruptions from volcanoes and things of that nature. I think you just had a whole bunch of volcanic eruptions. Let me see if I can find that. Right? You just had a whole bunch of them, huh? See that? Tonga volcanic eruption. Right? Scientists warned about an approaching volcanic eruption. So you got pillars of smoke, and you got pillars of smoke through the missiles, man. Right? You got pillars of smoke through the missiles that are being dropped on the earth. Right? India bombs Pakistan. Right? And the hell with an Elamite, man. Elamites are filthy. Elamites are dirty. Elamites are rapists, man. Don't you know in India, they have the highest rape rate on the earth? They're abusers of their women. Domestic violence is at an all-time high. They're starving each other. They bathe themselves in cow manure and cow feces. They worship mice. They worship rats. They worship elephants with 8 arms. I mean, this is a filthy, idolatrous, ungodly nation, man. We're not praying for Pakistan and India, man. The hell with them, man. There's some of the big, they're probably, I know Ham is up there, man. Ham, man, them Hamites, man. But Elam is up there too in terms of filthy nations. Now, you might disagree, but man, Elam might be number one. Now, that's my opinion, right? I could be wrong, but Elam, man, how they deal with their food, how they serve their food, how their sanitation, their cleanliness, their hygiene. I mean, they have to be number one, man. They have to be number one. Elam, I'm talking about Elam. Indians bathe in manure. Look at this. We're not making this up, right? You think the Most High is pleased with these heathen on the earth, man? Why is God doing that? Why is God doing this? If God was real, he wouldn't do this to the Indians and to the Pakistanians. Look at these demons, man. Who in their right mind would do such a thing? But that's the, look at this. Look at this. They're definitely worse than Hamites. I never thought I'd say that, but the Most High been revealing a lot about these Elamites, through social media and through different things. He's been really bringing that to light. The Lord said, whatsoever things are done in the dark, it's going to be brought to the light. What would possess you to do that? Look at this. These some nasty dudes, man. Look at this guy. These some nasty people, man. They have massive cow poops fight. This is serious, man. Yeah, you're like, oh my God, but this is deadly serious. This is wicked, man. Deadly, massive cow poop fights. Let's pull this up. Now they say they don't worship them, right? No, they worship mice. Let's do mice. Now they don't worship them. Temple of rats in India. They have a rat temple. And they feed them milk. Look at this. Look at her bowing down to the mice. These are ancient, idolatrous scum of the earth. Base nations. Filthy nations. They must be put into subjection. They must be put into slavery. Because when you leave it up to their own devices, here's what they do, man. Wicked, exceeding, abominable heathen, man. Let me get this in the book of Deuteronomy. Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy. I believe I want the 17th chapter. Right? This is utter wickedness, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse number 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, and that's what the Most High stirring them up to drop bombs, because they're wicked. That's what it comes down to. They're sinners, they're wicked, they're blasphemers, they're ungodly, so the Most High has to judge them. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? Deuteronomy 17 and 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or a woman that have wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, and transgressing his covenant, and have gone and served other gods, and worshiped them, either the sun or moon or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. I'm going to jump down to verse number 5. Actually, I'll read on. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel. And this thing is certain. We've inquired that they're idolaters. that they're abominable. We've done our investigations. We looked it up. The Most High brought it to light. So what's the judgment? Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die. And the Most High, he's not just going to stone them. He has ICBM missiles being launched to destroy them, man. To destroy them. That's their judgment, right? That's their judgment. Let's go to the epistle of Jeremiah, right? Or the letter of Jeremiah, right? This is the letter of Jeremiah, and this goes into the idols of these nations, right? This is we'll start at verse. I mean, this whole thing is good, right? This is a letter of Jeremiah, epistle of Jeremiah, 1 and verse 29. Menstruous women and women in childbed eat their sacrifices. By these things ye may know that there are no gods. Fear them not. For how can they be called gods? Because women set meat before the gods of silver, gold, and wood. How can this be called a god, man? How can a mouse be called a god? How can they take an elephant right? Ganesha. And how could this be called a god? So the hell with you East Indians, man. And what good has an East Indian done for you? What good has an Elamite? An Elamite has never done anything good, remotely good for me. I mean, anything. I can't call it, man. They've never done anything good for the Israelites, man. They've done nothing profitable for the sons of God. How could this be a god? An elephant? Well, you'd be a damn idiot to worship this, man. Well, don't say that. You gotta respect. We don't have to respect that, man. We don't have to respect this. Look at this. This is just wicked. Damn so-called God with a bowl of eggs. And it all goes back to Satan. You see him holding up that hand and that other hand. It all goes back to Satan. This is how so-called Baphomet sits, man. You compare this to Baphomet and all these satanic gods, they always hold the same pose. White Jesus, he always has the two fingers and his hand up. They all have the same pose. It's all of Satan. It's all demonic. It's all sun worship. That's why there's a sun behind this demon's head, man. All of these so-called gods go back to the worship of the sun. I mean, really, let's compare this. Right? Let's do a comparison. Same hand pose as the so-called elephant god, man. Right? They always do the same hand up in the air, same hand down, as beloved, so below. Satanic, both of these so-called gods are shirtless, and they're both anthropomorphic. They both are humans with animal characteristics, man. They're both satanic. They're both full of sun worship. See the moon right here, right? Moon worship and the worship of darkness, and the sun worship right here. All of these so-called gods go back to the worship of the sun and the moon, man. You know? So that's why in Deuteronomy 17, the Lord covers that. Let me go back to Deuteronomy 17 and 3. And have gone and served other gods and worshiped them, either the sun or moon. And that covers all religions. Christianity goes back to sun worship. Islam goes back to moon worship, right? East Indian gods go back to the worship of the sun and the stars and the moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded, right? And we're about to go in on these East Indians, man, right? You Elamites, man. And let's compare this to white Jesus. I see white Jesus with his hand up, right? Where is it? Where is it at? Here he is. This damn facade. Let's compare this to Baphomet. Same hand up, right hand up, as below, as above, so below, right? Same hand down. Same thing with let's pull this guy up. This demon. Same hand up, same hand down. They're all the same. It's all the worship of Satan. It's all, and the sun behind this one, and the sun behind this one, and the moon behind this one. It's all the worship of the sun, moon, and the stars. Everybody knows that, right? So you East Indians, man, you're idolaters, and there's no truth in what you worship, man. There's no truth in what you worship. That's why Baruch, or Baruch the 6th chapter, or you could say, letter Jeremiah the 6th chapter, it exposes you, man. It exposes you, right? I'm gonna jump down. This is let's see where I want. Verse number 44. Whatsoever is done among them is false. How may it be then thought or said that they are gods? So these people bring food to these so-called gods. I went to a liquor store years ago, man, and they had this huge Ganesh Elamite so-called god, and they had damn food set before. I believe I told that story before. They had McChickens. They had McChickens because it was like a strip, like a what they call it, not a strip mall. Yeah, strip mall. I believe that's what you call it. But they had a McDonald's, on the corner. You had the nail salon, all of that stuff. So they went, some demon walked up to the McDonald's and they got a few McChickens, and then there was a Starbucks on the other end off the street, and they got him a cappuccino. And it was a Shoppers, which is a grocery store, which was in a strip mall, and they bought him some oranges and some tangerines. So they gave this so-called guy a few McChickens, a cappuccino, and they gave him a few oranges. When I walked in there, I almost kicked the damn down, man. Now I was in the world, I didn't know what was going on, But even in my simplicity, I knew that was simpler than my simplicity. To give food to an idol, man. It's madness. Verse number 46. And they themselves that made them can never continue long. How should then the things that are made of them be gods? For they left lies and reproaches to them that come after. Now here's the point in verse number 48. For when there cometh any war, I'll read that again, because they just dropped bombs. For when there cometh any war or plague upon them, the priests consult with themselves whether they may be hidden with them. So when there's wars kicking off, they're going to hide these gods and put them underground or put them in some secret vault and lock up their gods so their gods aren't destroyed. That's what these Pakistanis are going to do. These East Indians are going to do. They're going to take all those mice and rats that they worship. They're going to hide them. All these so-called gods are going to hide these gods. This is a prophecy. How then cannot men perceive that they be no gods which can neither save themselves from war nor from the plague? And these same plagues are what we read in 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. A plague is sent among you, who may turn it back. So these so-called gods ain't going to be able to save them, huh? These so-called gods cannot save an East Indian, and they can't save a Moabite, right? And they can't call upon the name of the Most High. Don't say, well, okay, can the Most High save them? No, the Most High is not saving a Moabite or an Elamite. Now you had Slaki, you have Israelites that may be scattered amongst them, right? And I want to pull this up too. You have Israelites that may be scattered amongst them, but you got to understand that the majority of those people that dwell in that land are are Elamites, man. Right? They're actually Elamites through the Spirit. Now, the Most High is going to gather those elect of Israel that are scattered amongst them. But other than that, the rest of these other nations are going to be used to destroy them along with each other. Right? Now I want to pull this up too. This is what I wanted to Indians. So these East Indians, I don't want that. I want East Indians. I want the slave trade. There's something called the Silk Road slave trade. Right? There's something called the Silk Road slave trade. Here they call it the Indian Ocean slave trade. So you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are also slaves under the East Indians and what they call the Indian Ocean slave trade or the Silk Road slave trade. So you had a lot, or the East African slave trade. It's not just the transatlantic slave trade. You had the sub-Saharan slave trade and you had the Silk Road slave trade, right? Which was a route for the trading of persons, spices, and other materials, right? So I'm gonna pull this up. So these other nations, man, we were slaves under them. And that's what the Most High said in Baruch. This is another reason why the Most High has India bombing Pakistan. And when you watch Al Jazeera, you watch these news networks, they're not going to give you the underlying cause on why they're bombing each other and why these wars are happening. Because the Most High tells you, right? And we're going to talk about it spiritually, whereas they talk about it carnally. This is the actually I want Baruch, the 4th chapter. Right? Let's go to Baruch, the 4th chapter. The Most High gives you the reason why these things happen, man. Right? This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse number 30. Right? Baruch chapter 4 and 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. And the Most High is going to comfort us. We're the only ones, Most High willing, that are going to be delivered from the wars that are coming on the earth. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So every city, literally, it's not a metaphor. Every city that we served in the world, the Lord said there's a judgment coming to that respective city. Rather it's in America, rather it's in Jamaica, rather it's in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Brazil, France, England, Germany, Iran, India, Japan. Japan has slaves. All of those cities, this is another reason why they're being bombed, why they're going to be destroyed. It's a fulfillment of Baruch chapter 4 and 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve, and where the Israelites were in slavery. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Because all of these nations, man, I tell you that in Revelation 11 chapter. So like in Revelation 11 chapter, when we were put into captivity, all of the nations rejoiced. And he sent gifts one to another. Because these two prophets, meaning northern kingdom and southern kingdom, tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Don't stop thinking it's just a so-called white man. When are we going to understand that, yeah, Esau, the Edomites, is the number one guy, number one demon on the earth, our number one enemy, but you have many other nations that victimized, disenfranchised, consulted with the destruction of the children of Israel. And Elam has always been our enemies, man. That's why when the Elamites are in your neighborhood or in your communities, all they do is own the stores, man. They get convenience stores. How do they all get the convenience stores? They got the Dunkin' Donuts. They got certain liquor stores. They got the gas stations on lock. And they always, I had to check an Elamite a few times, man. Hey man, I bought something. It was supposed to be $2. The Elamite said, no, it's $5. I said, this ain't $5. So ring that up again, man. I said what I had to say. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I had a mistake. You know? Hey, I remember I was in anyway, I'm not gonna tell that story. Hey, but the point of the matter is these Elamites are oppressing you, man. They charge you exceeding high prices. And one thing you never see at a gas station is another Elamite going to that gas station. You don't see another Elamite in line. It's always a Negro in line buying a black. Let me get two damn Swisher Sweets, and let me get one. Get that lighter right there. Let me get a honey bun. You never see an Elamite in there. Where do they go? When do they leave? Who gave them that ability to have that gas station? The so-called white man. And their job is to sell you black and milds, cigarettes, pork, wicked pills, and all manner of sin to destroy you. That's their job. They're on the payroll of the so-called white man. They work for him. When are you going to realize that, man? Stop going to these damn stores, calling them Poppy and laughing with them and calling them brother, and stop doing that, man. We seeing these jakes going, these Muslim jakes that be in these gas stations, the hood stores. Salam alaikum, brother. Oh, hey, look, when I walk in there, hey, I get what I gotta get, man. I say what I gotta say, and I get out of there, man. You know, and we throw up curses on you nations. So you rejoice at our ruin. Let me read that again, Baruch 4:33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So guess what? We're going to rejoice at their ruin, man. That's why I said these are exciting times. We're rejoicing at the ruin of the Elamite man and the Elamite woman. This is a great day. This is a day of a day of feasting, mirth, gladness. You know, a good day, man. That the Elamites, because you don't really hear about the Elamites getting jammed up. You kind of hear about Amalek, you hear about the Arabs, hear about the Hamites. But Elam, you've been in the background too damn long. You've been in the background too long. And the Most High, he bringing you up on the world stage. It's your time to get pulled up on the forefront. And everybody's watching you. Destroy each other, man. And you're supposed to be chess players. You're supposed to be men of renown. You're supposed to be engineers. And you're really scammers, man. You're scammers and you're thieves. You stink. Your food is horrible. You're rapists. You're murderers. You know? So we don't respect you, Elamites, man. You're idolaters. Right? We don't respect you, Elamites. Let me pull this back up. This is the Indian Ocean slave trade. Right? The Indian Ocean slave trade. And you also had, and I want to see if I could pull this up. Right? Let me see if I could pull this up through the spirit, man. Right? We getting on you Elamites, man. Right? I want to get, let's see if I can get this real quick. Here's what I want. The Portuguese Indian slave trade. I'm going to hold this. And let me see if they actually have Portugal on here. All right. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna hold this, but let's see. What is this? Let me look this up, and then I want to get these what the Portuguese did. All right. So let's pull up first. I want the Portuguese Indian slave trade. Right? Slaves toiled in Portuguese India in the 16th and 17th centuries. That's your 1500s and your 1600s. Originating in a variety of places, including East Africa, East Asia, Southeast Asia, and different parts of India. Let's pull this up. I want, see, it's different when I looked it up on my, let me see, let me do this. Let's do African. Okay, now here's what I want. The Portuguese imported African slaves. Now we know when they say African, it's really talking about the Israelites. It's talking about us, right? This is part of that Silk Road slave trade or your Indian Ocean slave trade. Again, it's not just Master Johnson and Master Anderson that had you in slavery. These Elamites, these East Indians, these Pakistanis, these Sri Lankans, they had us in captivity too. The Portuguese imported African slaves into their Indian colonies on the Konkan coast between 1530 and 1740. Under European colonialism, slavery in India continued through the 18th and 19th centuries. And there's other, and once I find it, I can pull it up. There are actual so-called African communities out there. And they call them the untouchables, man. And they call them other bywords and proverbs. Like Gandhi. Everybody praises Gandhi. Gandhi was a well-known racist. He was a well-known racist towards the children of Israel. Everybody knows that, man. Right? Now, this is how slavery was when the Portuguese gave us to the East Indians. And vice versa, right? During transport to Portugal, enslaved people were fastened and chained with manacles, padlocks, and rings around their necks. Right? That's Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Portuguese owners could whip, chain, and check this out, and pour burning hot wax and fat onto the skin of their slaves and punish their slaves in any way that they wished, as long as the slaves remained alive. So they beat us. This is what Esau did. They tortured us, raped, robbed, and murdered us, and they gave us to the hands to the East Indians. Right? Many Africans traveled to India as slaves. How do you travel as a slave? But eventually settled down to play an important role in India's history of kingdoms. Some of them, like Malik Ambar, went on to become an important ruler and military strategist. And there's a YouTube channel called Kings and Generals, and they actually talk about this guy. And I believe he was an Israelite that was sent into slavery in India, but he rose up in the ranks and he became like a Joseph. How Joseph was in Egypt. I believe this guy was an Israelite, but they say from Ethiopia, right? Now they say he's an African, but he kind of rose up in the ranks, and he kind of became a big deal out there in India. So you had a lot of Israelites that were sold into slavery during the days of the Portuguese, the days of the Portuguese selling us to India, right? The Portuguese selling us to India. So the East Indians had us in slavery, man. Let's pull up Gandhi. Gandhi, racist statements. See, this stuff is accessible now, right? Let's see if I can find this. Now, they may try to hide it now, right? They may try to hide it now. And these East Indians, they have bywords for you too. Let's see if I can find that. I hate this damn demon, right? Let's see if I can pull this up. See if I can find it. If I can't find it, let's see. Then I may have to look it up another time, right? But this guy was actually speaking horribly amongst the Israelites that lived there, right? Let's see. Okay, it says during his stay in South Africa, Gandhi routinely expressed disdain for Africans. According to, says S. Anand, founder of Navayana, the publisher of the book titled the South African Gandhi, stretcher bearer of empire. So there's this book that this guy had. According to the book, Gandhi described black Africans as savage, raw, and living a life of indolence and nakedness. That's what he thinks about you. You got a lot of so-called black people, you look up to Gandhi like he's supposed to be somebody, like he's the wisest man, like he's some mediator who cared about you. He's no different than George Washington, so-called Trump, Andrew Jackson. Here's how he felt about you. And all East Indians feel like that about you, huh? And he campaigned relentlessly to prove to the British rulers that the Indian community in South Africa was superior to black Africans. So he was no different than a so-called white man. So all you East Indians, one of your top men, he's a well-known racist. And he was a child molester. Right? So it's fitting. Why are we going into this? Because we have to understand why the Most High is judging India and Pakistan. Right? Why is the Most High judging India and Pakistan? Due to how they have treated the children of Israel and what they have done against the Most High's people. This is the root cause, and ultimately that the Most High's name may be magnified in the earth. But they have to be held accountable to what they've done to us. Had us in slavery, robbed us, murdered us, destroyed us. I tell you in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and 10, what nation hath not had part of her kingdom and of her spoils, paraphrasing. So every nation has played a major role in breaking down the children of Israel, right? Let me actually get that in 1 Maccabees, chapter 2. Right, let's get that in 1 Maccabees, the second chapter. Right, this is 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and 10. And what nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? So you can't leave them out of this. All nations have played a major role in breaking us down from the Most High and cutting us off from our heritage and cutting us off from our nationality, man. Otherwise, this wouldn't be here. All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman, she is become a bond slave, right? So our spoils, all of our wealth has been raped, robbed, and murdered by the Elamites and these other nations that sought to destroy us, right? So again, this is from Irish Star. Terrifying moment. This is from what was this? Yesterday, or this was like it today, right? Not too long ago. Terrifying moment. India launches missile strike on Pakistan as World War III fears explode. And World War III is going to happen. No doubt it's going to happen. The Indian Armed Forces have launched a missile strike on Pakistani territory, saying the quote-unquote non-escalatory operation was in response to a barbaric terrorist attack last week. So here they said this is a non-escalatory operation. So what they're saying is we're just getting our hit back, our look back. Don't retaliate. You started this. That's what they're saying. India's telling Pakistan, don't hit us back. You hit us first. We just getting our hit back. We're not trying to really, take this up there. But these Pakistanis, man, don't you know that their water supply is being cut off? What is that? I'm gonna see if I can find that. The Kudus Water Treaty. See if I can find that. I'm butchering the word. Let's see, Kudus Water. Let's see if I can find that treaty. I know I'm butchering the word, right? And I spelled it all wrong. Okay, it's the Indus Water Treaty, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So this is the Indus Water Treaty. So what happened was when you look at a map, India and Pakistan share, certain rivers. Now, India, what they did was they cut off Pakistan from getting access to this water. And they're storing up more water. Look, India prepares dams to store more water, lines up multiple actions to choke Pakistan. They're choking them out, man. They're starving them out, and they're depriving them of their natural right to the water that flows through their land. Look at this. Chenab's water flow in Pakistan hits a record low as India shuts down 2 dams. You don't mess around with anybody's water, man. You know? So this is turning into a big deal. This is turning into a big deal. This is the Indus Water Treaty. Right? The Indus Water Treaty. And the Most High is stirring them up one against another. Right? Let's get this in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. I mean the 13th chapter. Right? Well, we can get both. But I want to let's get the 15th chapter. Then we'll go to the 13th chapter. Right? This 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse number 20. Right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, said the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. And the Most High, he always does that, man. The Most High will use these nations to fight against each other. He did that in the days of Gideon. He did that in the days of the kings of Judah. And he's going to do that when you read Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, the 38th chapter. And he's going to do it in these days now. He's turning them. Remember, these are the same people. These are both Elamites. It's not like this is the Hamites being invaded by the Edomites or the Moabites taking down the Israelites. No, these are both Elamites. This is really a civil war. But due to geopolitical affairs, they're not going to call this a civil war. But we're going to call it a civil war. Because, despite them being called India and Pakistan, they're both Elamites. Elam on Elam action. And they're turning themselves one against another. The Most High is doing that. And repay the things that they have done to them. And like I was saying, man, the Most High is repaying them for what they have done to us. Right? He's repaying them for what they have done to us. So people are fearing World War III. Now remember, Pakistan said we got nukes. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they said we have 130 of them aimed at you. Let's see if I can get that. Aimed at India. Let's see. Yep. It's from April 27th. This is the second time saying this, man. 130 nukes aimed at you. They're going to have to drop one. If India drops a nuke, Pakistan drops a nuke, man, that'll be one of the most, if not one of the most glorious days for us in the land of the living. Right? That's a day of celebration. When a nuke now I'm not saying they're going to drop a nuke. Only the Most High know. Only Yahweh Shema Shah knows if they're going to drop a nuke. Are they going to, just get their lick back and kind of sign a treaty? Are they going to try to calm things down? Are they going to sit at the table? Are these going to be little skirmishes? Nobody knows. Only the Most High. Time will tell. But if they drop a nuke today or tomorrow or any day, that's going to be a beautiful day, man. Remember this guy said what? He says Hanif Abbasai said if India dares to halt Pakistan's water supply by suspending the Indus Waters Treaty, it should prepare for a full-scale war. He said that Pakistan's nuclear weapons are not for display, and their locations are hidden across the country. And he's mad, man. He got a right to be mad. He cutting off his water. And so the Lord is allowing, what the Most High is also doing is the Lord has a cup of fury and a cup of indignation, and he's giving it to these nations, and he's causing them to drink of his fury, right? And that's another reason why these nations are getting hot and bothered and getting ready for these wars, man. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 25 and verse number 15. It's like it. Jeremiah 25 and 15. I'm going to start at 14. It reads, "For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands." And that's that spirit of vengeance again, right? There's a heavy spirit of vengeance on the earth. "For thus saith Yahweh, the God of Israel, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them." Now let's see who the Most High is going to send his sword amongst, right through the Spirit, man. Who is he going to send his sword amongst? Let's jump down to verse number 24. "And all the kings of Arabia," those are your kings of the east, those are your dragons of Arabia, the Carmanians, all of those are the kings of Arabia, and they're going to get pulled into this war. "China and Pakistan," for those who understand foreign policy and political alliances, they're both part of the SCO. The SCO is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization that's spearheaded by China. It's a political, somewhat quasi-military alliance between China and other countries. So China has skin in the game between Pakistan and India. Now, China's going to have to make a decision on who they want to back up. Because remember, India is part of BRICS, right? BRICS is an economic alliance, for lack of better terms, between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But remember, if you've been watching, India, they kind of are turning their back on China. They're kind of turning their back on China. And he said, look, we really shouldn't mess around with America. Let's not really ruffle their feathers. So we have to see if China, do they respect India as a world partner in trade and currency anymore? Right? And we're going to pull that up. And they might side with Pakistan. They might side with Pakistan. So it says, "And all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes." So all of the kings of Elam are going to go to war. It's prophecy. Now, I talked about that earlier. Remember, India, JD Vance dollar. See if I can get the information that I want. Right? So 2 weeks ago, JD Vance, which is the so-called vice president, he called for stronger India-U.S. relations. And India actually shook his hand and said, you know what? Yeah, we have an alliance with Brazil and India and China, what's lucky with China and South Africa, but we want to get down with you, right? We want to get down with you. So India and America, they're getting tight, man. They're building a bond, and I don't think China really likes that. Now, like I said, remember, China and India are partners, man. They're partners in BRICS, and they're also partners in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And let me pull that up too. So you got to understand geopolitics. When you're into prophecy, to a certain degree, you want to understand foreign policy, diplomatic relations, and geopolitics. So let's pull up the SCO. And we've covered the SEO plenty of times. The Shanghai Corporation Organization. Right? Let's pull this up. So this is the background behind the politics that the Most High set up. See, the Lord said, let me get this on Sarak 5 real quick precept. Here's what the Most High said regarding that. Because you may think it doesn't matter, right? But the Lord said what? Ecclesiasticus 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And understanding who is allied to who and what nations are against each other is going to help you dissect the prophecies and provide a sense of granularity, for lack of better terms, to the scriptures. Because now you understand who the actual kings of the East are, who are the Carmadians, and how this war is going to kick off. It helps you watch and understand the word of the Most High on a higher level, right? So here's the Shanghai Corporation Organization. It's a Eurasian political, economic, international security, and defense organization established by China, Kazakhstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan in 2001. Right? Now, let's jump down. Right? Here are the 10 member states of the SCO. You have Belarus, China, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan, right? So here they're beefing, but they're in the same economic political alliance. And China's right there. And Russia's right there. And you know, Russia and China are like best friends, man. China go left, Russia go left. Russia go right, China go right. So Russia and China, they're going to have to make a decision. Are they going to back up India in the event that this war continues? Or are they going to back up Pakistan? Are they going to look at this handshake between J.D. Vance and his Elamite, right, Minister Narendra Modi? Are they going to look at this and say, you know what? We don't support you. You turned your back and you pledged allegiance to our enemy. And they got a right to feel like that. So they might back up Pakistan. If they back up Pakistan, that means India is going to be in a global war with China to the east, Pakistan to the west, and Russia to the north. And if they think America is going to come save you East Indians, man, they're not going to come save you, man. So you East Indians, you Indians out there, you better get it together and stop trusting in this damn serpent right here. Look at this. And he got the upper hand. See this handshake? It shows that the so-called white man's in control. They're taught to do this. See? He has the upper hand. That's why they call it the upper hand. Because it shows who's in control, who's in a position of power, who's in the spirit of dominance, who's really calling the shots. This is a power stance right here. They call this a power tie. That solid color, that's a power tie. It's not a party tie. It's not a bow tie. They call it a power tie. He got the red, white, and blue on. He's on the right hand, and his right hand, he has the upper hand. So he's letting the world know, for those who know, that he's in control and that this guy is now a slave and he's now become subservient to the so-called white man. Right? And like I said, man, China is not going to like that. China and Russia, they're going to have to decide. Am I going to back up Iran? I mean, it's like in India, or am I going to back up Pakistan? So this is a big deal. This is a big deal on the global stage of world prophecy. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, right? 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So you have to measure the times. You have to see these bombs being dropped, wars kicking off, and understand how close we are to getting out of here. This is not a time to be slothful. This is the worst time to be slothful. This is the worst time to be lukewarm. This is the worst time not to be studying, reading, praying, fasting. This is the worst time to take your hand off the plow and to think that this world is going to last for hundreds of years, decades and decades. This is the time when we're looking to get out of here. You know, Yahweh Shah said it best, man. Right? Let me get this in Luke 17 and 31. Right? Here's what Yahweh Shah said. Right? Luke chapter 17 and 31. And that day, he which is upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife. Lot's wife was of the world, and she looked back at the things that she was going to miss out on. Her husband Lot was a wealthy man. Read Genesis the 13th chapter. He had tents, he had cattle, he had men servants, he had all these things, man. He was living in the city, he was sitting in the gate, and she loved the comfortability and the security that Lot provided her, like any woman. But what separates Lot's wife from the elect woman is that Lot's wife is looking back, reminiscing, and longing for the past and things of the world. Whereas the Lord said in the book of Ecclesiastes, say not that the former days were better than these, for thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. So the former days aren't better than these days. These are the days of judgment. These are the days of us getting out of here. And these days, the Most High said, lift up your head, for your redemption draweth not. Remember Lot's wife. Go back and read the 19th chapter of Genesis if you have to, and see what happened to her, man. And the covetous worldly spirit that she had, and she's turned to a pillar of salt to this very day. It's a monument to an unbelieving soul, man. Right? So you see what's going on. We can't stress this enough. That everybody's talking of World War III. Is Pakistan going to retaliate, man? Right? And we're going to be watching, man. We're going to be watching. We're going to be hitting that refresh button, right? We're going to be hitting that refresh button, and we're going to be seeing what's going on, man. Are they going to respond? Is it really going to happen? Are they going to drop a nuke? And they may not drop a nuke. We're not saying they are. We're not saying they aren't. We just know that even the fact of them firing a missile is judgment within itself. That's judgment within itself, right? Look at this. How to survive a nuclear attack. You can't, it's the Most High. See, India is preparing for potential hostile attacks by conducting mock drills in over 200 cities. They're getting ready. They know something that we may not know, or what the world, I'll say the world, what the world may not know. Why would they be telling their people to do mock drills for over 200 cities if they weren't going to attack Pakistan, if Pakistan wasn't going to retaliate? They know this place about to go down, and they're arming their people to get ready. They're coaching them in the schools. They're sending text alerts. It's all over their social media. Here, you East Indians, here's how to survive. We hear the air raid sirens, right? When the bombs begin to drop, here's how to survive. India is set to conduct mock drills in over 200 cities amid rising tension with Pakistan following the Pahalgam terror attack, right? So this thing is going down, man. This thing is going down. Keep watch. Stay circumspect, man. Repent. Make sure you got your spirit right. Keep your hand on the plow. Stop reminiscing about the world. Stop giving your mind over to vanity and mortal thoughts, and give your mind over to your maker, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? Ephesians 5 and 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And the days are evil. Be mindful of how you deal with your time, and be circumspect and keep watch. And with that, I know I said we was going to touch on sticky marriage situations. We may do that later throughout the week. It's all the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So with that, we're going to close up again, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashma Mashiach wa Malak Yahushua. Most High willing you are edified. Kwam Yashah. Shalom.